right, welcome everyone to Spirit Coffee Talk. Thank you so much for joining us. We are some of the mediums and channelers at Avalon Spirit, and every Friday we connect and feel into the energies or some significant topics from a spiritual lens. And today, we're going to be talking about some card pulls, and because the energy has been very interesting, as we've talked about, April was a lot. The energy May now is very much a change energy month, like a number 5 month, lots of changes, things speeding up, things shifting. And so we thought we would tune into the cards and spirit and see what they have to share. So welcome, ladies. How we doing? How we feeling? We're all in black as we bring in this new month. But I wonder if black represents like coming out of the void, right? Like coming out of the dark kind of thing. I don't know. I think there's something interesting that we're all in
I'm
black.
wearing it like a freaking trophy.
Yeah, right?
I was in it and like I felt it. And here I stand with
Yes.
more strength and vitality because of it.
Yeah, I agree.
Because I think that, I mean, obviously, like how many times do we say we can only really see it retrospectively? But like looking back on the um challenging times of the shadow that appeared through my existence in the month of April alone, in just reflection on that, I'm like, I cannot believe how far I've come since that, number one. And number two, like the strength in how that has carried forward into me now. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. So yeah, the shadowy part coming out of the void definitely resonates with me.
Mm-hmm. How about you, Elyse?
Same.
I was spit my coffee. That was
Yeah.
funny.
On TikTok last night, I saw this lady who does this very random, but it just made me think of it. I was like, maybe this is my calling because I like to think I'm funny. And there's this lady who does psychic stand up. And I saw her
Oh.
TikToks where she like does stand up. I could never do stand up, but she does stand up and she like pulls cards and does readings for people and then also like makes jokes. Highly entertaining. Anyways.
Oh my gosh,
Nice.
this is gonna
I
be
just
my
thought that
new
was the
favorite person to follow.
I
I know. I just
know.
thought it was the coolest thing. I was like, wow, that's such a good idea.
That is a good idea.
That's
Anyways,
funny.
yeah, I feel the same. I'm still noticing the remnants of the void, I would say, not in like a heavy way, or like in the shadow of it necessarily, but it just kind of feels like more like floating in the ethers a little bit for me.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm not feeling the intensity of the energy of April as much anymore, which is a welcome exhale.
Yeah.
Excuse me. But
Let's
yeah,
do a
still kind
little
of
reading
floating.
for the collective here.
I like it.
Okay, let's give the people what they want. Let's do a reading for them.
Okay, I'll start because I already pulled. I
Okay.
just pulled. I was impatient. The cards were like burning in my hand. So I'm using the Animal Oracle deck by Colette Baron Reed. What's really interesting with what we're saying is this kind of like retrospect, like you were talking about, Lisa, like when we come out of the dark and we look back and we can see how much we've gained, or when we're, just moving in through that, it now gives us an opportunity, like with this card, to lay a solid foundation. And that's what this
Yes.
beaver card says. It's like laying that solid foundation now. And I think we really get to either add to the foundation we've been building or begin anew from everything that kind of crumbled in April. And then it's neat because the next card out is the Coyote Spirit, which says, trust in the divine detours. And I can imagine we all feel like we hit random, irritating, surprising detours in April, right?
Yeah.
In either spirit communication or events that are unfolding, really making us question, like dive deep into ourselves, plus Mercury retrograde, plus that Scorpio full moon, question, what the heck? Why is there this kind of detour thing? And then I love this with the Koi Spirit card. This says, there is always enough. And I think that's something that we always end up coming back to retrospectively, is remembering that like we are enough and there is enough. And in retrospect, things do happen in a divine order, and we can see the beauty and the bounty from the tough lessons, although that's hard to see in it. But I
Mhm.
think this is a really neat kind of progression as we are, embracing this energy in May.
Mm.
Yeah.
I love that. What came up when you were pulling those, Ginette, was laying the new foundation. There's a lot of cards and a lot of messages that have come through lately about that, and like really building our own foundation, the new foundation, as the old paradigm has crumbled and continues to crumble. And so we're given the opportunity individually as well as collectively to build this new foundation for ourselves. And that can feel sometimes it can feel uncomfortable, although it's like the sound of it is like, oh, that sounds really good. But almost like the belief system that we can build this foundation in whichever capacity that really serves us without using the bricks from the old one. You
Mhm.
know, we're being like, I feel like, but should I be a little worried about my job, or like how I receive money, or like, income? It's like almost that scarcity part of it is such a is like the last piece to go. And then the koi fish came up, and there's always enough, right?
Mhm.
Scarcity was such a big boulder in the existing foundation because it was built upon a system from like way back when like out of the wars and the depression. And it's like the people that raised us created that foundation with scarcity, and we can see why. But with the crumbling of the new, and we're building our own foundation, remember that there's certain um pieces that held up the old foundation that might feel still familiar, but you don't have to add that into the new foundation. Even though it feels familiar, really take a look at it and be like, do I want this scarcity piece in it? Do I want, like
Mhm.
really allow yourself the time to feel into what resonates with you and what you want to build for yourself. And the whole concept of, if you really could just sit there and write down like my ideal life looks like, okay, without like, what if there was nothing holding you back? What if there was absolutely zero resistance? What would it look like truthfully? And get tidbits from that to create your foundation, because the resistance are the perspectives that we've created in our own mind and that have manifested in our life from the old foundation.
Mhm.
So creating our new foundation really is going to take you as an individual to feel into it, to be like, what do I want in my new foundation? You know,
Mhm. Yeah.
even that, like, I'm sorry, they just keep talking. Even the idea of, okay, but we have to be realistic. Like, be realistic. Not everything is so la 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 la. It's not, it's like the idea of that, even of like realism, or your perspective of realism. Like, well, you probably learned what's realistic and what reality looks like from somebody who is built upon that old foundation. And that really was their reality. Therefore, you adopted it, created your foundation based on that. And yes, that was your reality. But like, know that in this shift of paradigm, in this new, like, revolutionary aspect of ourselves, we have the ability to create this new foundation for ourselves truly from your desire of how you want to build it.
Mhm.
Don't hold back.
Absolutely. I think that's
Love
beautiful.
that. That. One of the cards that I pulled, I'll jump in, but as you were speaking, Lisa, the card applied to what I was feeling with my pull, but also as you both were speaking. I know for me, and I hear from a lot of people, especially after a period of really intense discomfort, or even if we're still noticing the discomfort and kind of that foundation crumbling piece and the rebuilding, is this desire to like rebuild as quick as possible. And sometimes some slowness, some patience, some, even Lisa, to what you were saying, giving yourself pause to understand what it is, like, rather than just like jumping to the rebuild from a place of not maybe being aware of like what blocks you might have mentally around what is realistic. You could be rebuilding from a place of a mental block, when like what you really want is that next level, but you can't, or that next layer or step or whatever. And you can't necessarily access that if you're just like rushing right to the rebuild phase. So it's like, if you can
Totally.
slow down a little bit, even it's that energy, it's the discomfort, it's the like, okay, let's, everything's done, let's move forward. But we know not everything is done, but also it's like the more we rush, the easier it is to miss or bypass some of the other truths that might be present.
I think that's May energy. I think April was the like lightning bolt crumbling the tower, right? Removing the existing foundation. Let's just like simplify it by that. And then May being the fifth the month of change is exactly that. Like May isn't to be rushed through with like the yang energy and the going. It's not. It is the change to be able to transmute, integrate, feel all of it so that you can come from a really balanced, aware state to rebuild. Great point, Elyse.
Yeah.
May, why don't we just set that intention right now? Like, let May be the time of rest and to restore in order to make that change possible. Not where change is like, okay, now it's go, go, go time. That doesn't feel right. And maybe if it is for you and the opportunity comes up and you've prepared for this and it's in alignment, great. If that is what like resonates, great. If opportunity comes knocking, wonderful. But allow yourself in this energy of May to really feel into it and ground yourself into your energy of this change. Because to make this big revolutionary change independently, as well as collectively, we need to integrate the big energies that just came through.
I think too, what's interesting is May is very fast energy too, though. So it's going to be this like energy trying to pick us up and have us run with it really fast. But I think
Do you
what you're
feel May
saying,
is going to be fast?
very,
I don't want it to be fast.
it's very fast, but
I
it's
want
one
to
of those
sit on my
things
swing
that,
in the backyard.
no, but it's one of those things like, sometimes how we will naturally try to like acclimate our frequency to somebody. So like say somebody is talking to you very, very fast, you will then start to notice you start to respond very fast, right? Or I mean, people do this all the time when you talk about dramas and gossip. People then are drawn into drama and gossip.
Yeah.
But the thing is to keep your energy very individualized, so that you are standing in your power and choosing how you want to be in May. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yes.
What's happening with your candle
Yeah,
over
I
there?
can see the flickering of the flame. Show us what's going on with this.
Yes, yes.
It's a fog flame. It's all good. We have fire safety here. We're just releasing cords and energies of things.
Yeah.
And it's just the cord release phase. I do have water nearby. It is safely in a cup, far enough away from my hair.
Sorry that we just drew attention to the stairs.
I know.
Okie dokes. Moving on.
There it is.
That's fast energy as you
It
speak
is
of.
fast energy.
Intense. I almost think of it as like
Reminds me of Survivor. Are you gonna burn the string? Built the fire.
Right? Let's just remind everyone to practice proper fire safety. And
yes.
if you're burning and using candles, always set them up in a fire safe container away from things and all of that.
Watch it. The analogy that I was kind of seeing in my mind as we were talking about the fast energy is like, if you're on a train, right? You can still relax and take in the scenery. You can still look, but it's moving fast, right? And it might make you feel a little like, I get motion sickness. So like, it might make me feel a little like, whoa, and I got to do things to tend to myself so that my body feels okay. But like, but I can still rest in that
Yeah,
masculine
totally.
train.
I love
Mhm.
that.
Mhm.
What'd you pull, Elyse?
So I was pulling from the Sacred Forest Oracle. So first one I got, which really to me represents, I mean, April, previous to that, also ongoing, is the air spirit and knowledge. And she's kind of like floating
Mm.
in this swan, maybe, boat above the trees. But then the next one, which is where I really feel like this May energy kind of takes us, is Pegasus, which is transcending,
Oh, yes.
which can be fast, right? It can
Yes.
feel like a fast movement, but it's that integration, it's that shifting of everything. And then the kind of culmination of that is the bluebird spirit, which is happiness. So it feels like coming out on the other side of that. And I was like, well, that's nice. Also, what does that mean? Like, just happiness. And so pulled a clarifier on that and got the pine spirit, which is all about purification. So I feel like it's that new foundation, it's that clean space.
Nice.
Transcendence, though, when we were talking about transmuting all of that darkness that got
Mhm.
surfaced with the whole like whipping of the old energies, and
Mhm.
like how much time we've all had to take to like transmute that energy. And through
Mhm.
that transmutation, we have that clarity in order to feel the joy, that like the authenticity of our joy again.
Mhm.
Totally.
Love that, Elyse. That resonates.
And then I just was like, okay, so what do we need to do? Like, what can you know? And this is where the card came through of patience. Just, you don't need to do
Yeah.
anything. Just
I like
take a
that.
pause, be patient, tend
Yeah.
to what you need to.
I got patience as well.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
What number is your patience?
18.
I got 14. 4 and 1 is 5.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm.
Cool. All right, you guys help me to break through this, okay?
Yeah.
Because I just kept pulling and pulling and pulling. Okay, so I got the Ace of Water, which is the Ace of Cups. So it's kind of like the creation of that like love energy, like that oneness in your heart and connecting to that. And then I got King of Fire, which is the King of Wands. And I love that he's got like a blazing heart in the middle of his chest too, and like that wisdom and
Mm.
that peace. And then I got Patience, the Sun, and Justice.
Mm.
So Patience, the Sun, and Justice. So Patience in the traditional tarot is the
Temperance.
balance, huh?
Temperance or justice?
Temperance.
Temperance. Yeah.
So Temperance, which is balance, then Sun, and then Justice again.
Oh,
That's
justice.
another balance card. So it's like balancing out the energies, bringing it back into equilibrium, kind of thing. Like
Yeah.
in the sunshine, which I really thought was like such a big May thing. And then I got Queen of Water, which is Queen of Cups, and I just love her. She reminds me so much of Yuji.
Oh my God, I was gonna say she looks like you.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, look at us. Queen of Cups, where I don't know, I just love that queen energy.
You know,
And then what
just
came
the-
out was with her, the Queen of Cups, what with her was the World card
Mhm.
and the Star,
Mm.
which is traditionally a card I usually resonate with.
Yeah.
Okay, so how does that feel? What sticks out in that
I
for you guys?
a bunch of it. I think the like patience and temperance is also like with the sun card is divine timing, like trust in the divine timing of things. Like it is challenging for us here, but there is also divine timing of things connected to that destiny piece, which is the star card. And the
Okay.
world card too is often these like beautiful completions. I think there have been layers of completions, but I think it also speaks to like very much collectively. Kind of like that message of like none of you are going through this alone, although your individual experiences sometimes feel like you're so alone in it, but you're not.
Mm-hmm.
Like it is a revolution on all levels.
Yeah, and like these are all really like positive cards. They're
Yeah.
all very like there's a ton of love surrounding you. There's a ton of energy. Like the Justice card, even with the sun and like divine timing, is all like this is all worth it. Trust
Mhm.
us.
Mhm.
Trust in the universal order. Like lean into the knowing of your love space, lean into the divine aspect of self. Even when like you feel like the world is falling apart around you, remember that you yourself are created by that divine order. We carry that in us. That's a part of us, is that divinity. That's what we're made of. You know what I mean? That God energy. That is who we are. Remember that. Like there's a strength in that, and to trust in that. So if you really do trust that the universe has your back, that you are divinely connected to all things, we're gonna be okay. Like we're gonna be taken care of.
It's true. And then, I mean, isn't it
I
funny
feel like
though?
that wasn't from me. Sorry,
That's
that was
it.
from someone else. Because
Yeah,
that was really sweet, and I'm not really in a sweet mood.
I think it's true though, and it does come back to that, because think about every lesson that we've, like the three of us, for example, have gone through in our own ways. We've had some really tough ones, but when we've been able to pull the wisdom from it, there is that softness and there is that beauty and there is that safety and like massive soul growth where you're like, wow, I did it, right? And so there is that on the other side of the hard things. You know, and that reminds me of like that boat in the cards that you pulled, Elyse, of that like swan boat above the clouds and the trees, like that saving grace, that silver lining, that what comes after the storm kind of thing. I just, that love energy. I mean, the swan is so symbolic of love energy in every which way possible.
Yeah.
Love energy is really source energy.
Yeah.
Right? That does return to everybody. And so, I mean, I think as much as we want to be annoyed or tired or exhausted, it does always come back to that.
It does.
Which, yeah. Quite a
Which I
beautiful
think
thing.
all of us needed to hear today.
True. Very true.
Amazing. I love that. I love pulling cards with you guys. That was really awesome.
It was. All right. Well, we hope that this helped kind of inspire all of you to find that tender place in your heart again, that beautiful, hopeful, joyful place, and realize that everything that you've been going through matters and that you matter in it, and you're not alone in your growth, and you're doing amazing things too in how you're anchoring your own frequency on this planet. And that does help other people, even though sometimes it feels like it doesn't. It really does. So thank you all for joining us. As always, please do share and subscribe and like and comment if you want as well. And we will see you all again next week. Have a good one.